Alright guys, welcome back. It is Alex or Crashes Clay 69 here, and today I'm going to show you the most bullish setup that we see currently in this market. My highest conviction play, the crypto that I am the most bullish on here for the next 3+ months, and that is Hex. Controversial coin that we have talked about multiple times on this channel, that you have seen me put over 6 figures into and done that publicly. So today I'm going to break this down further and show you why I think the trend reversal and bottom is in. So we're going to get straight into it, starting first with my Twitter and what I posted here earlier today, guys. I highly recommend you follow me there if you want these updates before, for example, I'm making this video 10 hours after I actually gave you this tweet when Hex was at 15 cents. Well, since I gave this tweet saying that I think it's the bottom, we're already up to 17.5 cents. So I posted that tweet, and after that tweet, Hex went up 16%, so you're getting this information a little bit later, but no need to worry. I think there's plenty of gains to be made here, and I don't think you're late whatsoever. If you measure from the all-time high, we're still down 65%. That's still a massive discount. And when we break this down further, you're going to see exactly why this can easily double, triple, quadruple here in the coming months. So first, it starts off with the pattern that we're seeing, which is a textbook double bottom that we set, which hit a low at 12 cents. And so in my opinion, that's the bottom. And in my opinion, this is the most logical bet in all of crypto when you understand what's coming up in this ecosystem, which is going to be created by PulseChain. So guys, who's left to sell, right? We had a 75-76% dip to the bottom there. All right, if you've been following the Hex whale bot, you have seen there has been so many people nuking their stakes, which means they're out. All right, they got wrecked. So at this point, how much more can you get wrecked? I don't think you can get wrecked anymore. And what you should know is periods of pain are followed by periods of growth and gains, right? And that's the truth. Pain is a catalyst. Suffering is a catalyst for growth. And this is the longest period of pain. This is the longest period of downtrend since Hex has been created, I think, typically if you look at this chart, the longest you see Hex dip is for about 3 weeks, and then it just goes straight up. Like, look at this chart. It's absolutely phenomenal, right? So the longest you've seen Hex dip is 3 weeks. This time we dipped for about 10 weeks, which is, like I said, the longest period of pain, I think. But the longest period of pain is going to be followed by, in my opinion, the best period of gain. And so, don't just take my word for that. Understand the catalyst and what we have coming up. So catalyst number one is PulseChain is right around the corner, right? Probably early January. No, probably mid-January. We're going to have PulseChain, which, if you don't know what PulseChain is, it's a new blockchain, basically, new ecosystem, which is just a fork of Ethereum with cheaper gas fees and faster transactions. So pretty much it's going to give people the opportunity to invest into Hex with very low gas costs, right? For example, if you're someone who only has $1,000 and you want to buy Hex right now, well, guess what? You're going to have to pay probably $100 in gas, $150 in gas, just to make the swap from Ethereum into Hex or USDC into Hex, right? Because this is all done on a decentralized exchange, right? And so, obviously that's pretty costly, especially when you're on the Ethereum chain, right? So that's the whole point of PulseChain, is you can, let's say you got $500. Well, your gas fee on PulseChain is going to be like 2 cents. And so it's going to give the ease of access into Hex, it's going to make it a lot easier, right? So that's the whole key there. And on top of that, all your ERC20 tokens are going to be copied over to Ethereum. Now, look, Hex maxis may be mad at me for saying this. And look, man, this is not my expertise here, but, I think a lot of these coins, right, like, for example, a Chainlink or, like, what's another ERC we can point out? Matic, or VeChain. No, VeChain's not an ERC20, I don't think. Engine, right? Well, a lot of these ERC20s that are going to be copied over, I don't think some of them may actually not hold any value. Now, Richard Hart, the founder of Hex, has kind of talked about how, people will actually trade the pairs over on PulseChain as speculation plus arbitrage, how you can kind of bridge it back over. I don't know. We're going to see how it all works out. I think it's a little too early to guarantee that all these ERC20s are going to succeed on PulseChain, because a lot of them might eat shit, all right? That's just my opinion. I'm not exactly sure, though. I don't think anyone is 100% sure. So, don't be mad at me when I say that. This is crazy stuff we're doing here that we're pulling off with PulseChain and copying over all these ERC20s. So, look, that's just the reality. Nobody knows. But that's kind of what you need to know about PulseChain if you're new and you don't really have any idea. But yeah, so that's the point, is that that's a massive catalyst where all the ERC20s are being copied over. So think about it. If you got Hex right now, you're going to get a copy of your Hex on the new chain. So if you have 1,000,000 Hex, or let's just say 100,000 Hex, you're also going to have 100,000 Hex on the new chain, which is very exciting to a lot of people, because it's kind of like if you have 5 Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network, and now on a new network, we'll call it like Panda network, you're getting 5 more Bitcoin on that network. And there's a potential that your Bitcoin on the Panda network is going to have a value, right? And so we are speculating that Hex is absolutely going to have a value on the PulseChain network, because first off, all the people who are invested in Hex on the Ethereum chain are dying to get their hands on this very low gas fee Hex on the PulseChain, right? And so that automatically gives it massive demand, right? And so, what you should know is the price will start at 0, but with the massive demand and all the people are going to want their Pulse Hex, right? The people who are already invested in Ethereum Hex who want their Pulse Hex, right? Like, it's not going to be 0, right? So think about it. You have a legitimate opportunity for Hex to be, let's say 18 cents on the Ethereum chain and 18 cents on the Pulse chain. So if that's the case, what do? You double your money if it just stays at the same price and meets that price on the new chain. So it's really exciting stuff, because when you add the two pieces together, there's a very good chance that it's going to add up to be much greater than the whole. And so another way to look at this and think of this is, okay, Hex could literally dump off 50% from where it is right now, right? So it could dump off to 9 cents, all right? And guess what? If it's 9 cents on both chains, Ethereum network and on PulseChain, you're still break even, right? Because you have 9 cents of value here, you have 9 cents of value there. So if you bought it at 18 cents today, you're break even if it dipped to 9 cents on both chains, right? So that's a very appealing thing when you think about it, right? So many bullish things that come with the PulseChain network, and that's some of the ways I can break it down for you. On top of that, guys, we have the PulseSwap sacrifice, which is coming up before the end of the year, supposedly. Now, if you remember this recent run-up, which was the first time I actually ever got into Hex, I mean, I wish I could say I was some OG guy, in before 1 cent. Congratulations to all of you guys if that's you. But, the first time I ever got into Hex was at 11 cents here in August. And this was such a fantastic introduction into Hex for me, because as soon as I got in, guys, 2 days after I got in, we went for 5x. And so if you actually look right here, when we're at 11 cents, when I got in for the first time and we 5x, what were the catalysts here? Well, the number one catalyst was one, the PulseChain sacrifice, right? So you would sacrifice your Hex to get an allocation of Pulse tokens, which is going to be for the new blockchain, right? So that was catalyst number one. Catalyst number two is everyone found out and heard that you're going to get a copy of your Hex onto the PulseChain network. So that second catalyst remains, right, which is that you're going to get a copy of your Hex. So, for example, why would you not want to hold your Hex going into the PulseChain launch, right? Because you're going to get a copy. It doesn't make sense. If you're a holder of Hex, obviously you want to hold it. So one, that's a massive incentive to hold your Hex, right? Because you want a copy on the new network. But two, right, remember you had the PulseChain sacrifice. Well, guess what we're about to have? We're about to have something different. It's going to be the PulseSwap sacrifice. Okay, so what a sacrifice is where you're going to basically give your Hex away for charity or as a donation, and then in return, just because you did that, you're going to get allocation of tokens. But, basically you're sacrificing for free with no expectation of a profit or anything, right? But that's a massive catalyst. It's just going to have a lot of people buying their HEX to sacrifice for a new allocation of this new token on PulseChain, right? Which is going to be basically the DEX of PulseChain, basically a fork of PancakeSwap, right? So you're going to have, once again, yet again, a sacrifice phase here coming up by the end of year, all right? And so that is going to be a massive catalyst because we saw the PulseChain sacrifice was a massive catalyst, and so now you have a PulseSwap sacrifice, which is going to be a massive catalyst. So those are your two biggest catalysts right now, is the PulseSwap sacrifice and the PulseChain mainnet actually going live here probably within the next 6 weeks. Right, so you have the same exact fundamental reasons why the price exploded 5x this time. Yeah, you have those same exact reasons. And on top of that, all right, last time you had a 40% discount, all right? Well, this time, guys, you got a 65% discount. All right, so you got a juicy, massive discount. You've seen the potential of HEX before, right? So, for example, all you had seen before was a 20-cent HEX. You didn't know it could go to 50 cents, and it did. Well, now you've seen it can go to 50 cents, all right? And now, guess what? The next time you're going to be seeing the new potential could be at 70 cents, 80 cents, $1. And what you should know about HEX is every time it breaks its previous all-time high, it rips at least 100%. So, for example, right, let's zoom in here so you can see this. So the previous all-time high was at 20 cents. It pulls back for 3 weeks. As soon as it breaks that all-time high, guess what HEX does? It goes on and rips 158% higher. Really, that's a 2.5x, but here on TradingView, they do it as a gain and not a return, right? So you go from 20 cents to 50 cents, right? 2.5x. Well, let's go through another example when HEX broke an all-time high. So here was the all-time high at 9 cents. Guess what? When we break that all-time high, what do? We go non-stop 100% to the upside. We double there from 9 cents to 19 cents, right? Let's go through another example when HEX broke an all-time high. Right here, when HEX broke this all-time high at 6 cents, it went non-stop up to 0.098 cents, which is about 46%, which is basically almost a double. All right, basically almost a double. All right, so you have a history. Every time HEX breaks the all-time high, it rips, basically doubles every time it breaks an all-time high. So what's a double if you break the all-time high here? Is to $1. All right, it's pretty magnificent. It's pretty beautiful stuff, and it makes sense. It could be possible with all the new things coming. Now, obviously, how does an asset go up in price? How does an asset go up in value? Well, it comes from the next person buying. It comes from the next investor. It comes from new money. And people will say that's a Ponzi. Well, one, how does the stock market go up? It goes up when new money comes in and more people buy, right? It comes from who's the next person to buy the stock market. Same thing with Tesla stock, same thing with Bitcoin. How does Bitcoin go up? It goes up because the next person buys, because more money came in. And so when you have the PulseChain ecosystem and chain coming, right? Well, that's going to introduce a lot of people and a lot of new money and a lot of new buyers into HEX, right? So a lot of people are just going to go to PulseChain, right, who've never even heard of HEX. Well, they're going to find out about HEX when they get on the PulseChain, right? So that's going to be a lot of new investors, a lot of new money, and a lot of people who are going to buy after you, right? Because, for example, if you bought Bitcoin in 2015, well, what was your job? It was to wait until the next people to buy after you as more people found out about Bitcoin. That's the thing about HEX is honestly, not that many people even know about HEX, right? So what's your job? It's to sit down, be quiet, and wait until more people know about HEX, just like any other asset in the history of fucking history, all right? So, guys, that's my breakdown there. You got a beautiful double bottom, and major catalysts, major bullish things coming up. And on top of that, what you should know is HEX is pretty uncorrelated to the market. And so I'll give you an example, right? So right here, if you look at Bitcoin, we hit a bear market from April, okay, down to July, right? So what was Bitcoin doing from April to July? It dumped massive, over 50%. Well, what was HEX doing from April to July, right? So this is a time where you'd see all altcoins getting crushed, right? Well, not HEX, all right? From April to July, HEX went on a massive run, right? Like over 435%. So basically a 5.5x, right? So while Bitcoin got crushed, Hex went up 5x, right? So that's just proof to you that just because we're in a bear market currently in crypto, it doesn't mean Hex is going to remain in a bear market. And so, as a matter of fact, you can see all cryptos are down for the day. Well, guess what? Hex is not. Hex is up 12% right now, right? So this is my highest conviction play, and what you got to realize is it doesn't matter if you're Hex or you're another crypto. All cryptos go through major dips. So right now, we're seeing Bitcoin in a major dip. Well, guess what? Hex already had its major dip, right? So now, while the whole market's down, Hex has already went down. And so now it's Hex's time to shine, which when Hex is the only asset which is going to be going, skyrocketing, while all cryptos are down, that's going to bring a lot of attention to Hex, in my opinion, where people are going to see, what the fuck? Bitcoin's down 6%, but then there's this thing called Hex, which is up 12%. Fuck, I want to buy this, right? That gives you a lot of, sunshine, a lot of spotlight when you're like this asset going up 12% while everything's dumping, right? And that's where Hex is going to steal the show here in the coming weeks and months, in my opinion. And that's why this is such a beautiful opportunity. So the very final and last thing I want to show you is just the pattern, which is the double bottom. If you've taken my course, you know this. If you've read Investor's Business Daily, How to Make Money in Stocks, you know this. But a classic textbook double bottom, you're going to see an undercut of the first leg down, and that first leg down should come after a prior uptrend. Well, yeah, we had a massive uptrend prior to this leg down, and then what do you notice? So we got the prior uptrend, leg down, mid-high, okay? We come down to slightly undercut the low. And what do you see? Well, right here, can also set the stage for huge price gains. And it says, based on the textbook example, that the ideal buying point is 10 cents above the middle of the W, right? So according to the textbook, right, which we all know, who likes fucking following textbooks, right? But according to a textbook double bottom pattern, you're buying in 10 cents above 28 cents, which, okay, 10 cents above, it doesn't understand that we're trading literally something that's pennies here. But basically, you'd be buying above a break of that midpoint. Now, let me tell you something that this textbook isn't going to tell you. How to measure the magnitude of a double bottom, how far it can stretch out and go up. And that's really simple. You're going to take a measurement from the bottom to the midpoint, and then you're going to take that magnitude and actually extend that to the top of that base. Now, that is going to give you a price target of 44 cents here in Hex if you can break that midpoint. So let's say you're a conservative guy, you want to wait for confirmation. Well, you can buy in at Hex once it confirms a break above 28 cents, and then you can pump our bags, everyone who's in earlier, and you can pump us up to 44 cents for 56% gain. So you, my friend, if you want to buy and wait for confirmation at 28 cents, you can wait. Okay, you can do that, and you can get a 56% gain right there. I mean, that's pretty damn good. The people who are in now, I mean, you're going to get yourself a nice little 141%, which is basically tripling your money almost. So, that's the plan, guys. It's a beautiful setup with beautiful catalysts. It's already had its major dip, and it's the one crypto that's likely to do extremely well, even if all other cryptos are getting crushed. So guys, if you want to spread awareness for this, obviously you can retweet, my call here that I think it's the bottom. Obviously that gives people confidence, and it just gives the idea out to more people so more people know about it. Remember, that's the number one problem right now, is not everyone knows about Hex. Just like in 2015, not everyone knew about Bitcoin. It's all about users. And so it's a mathematical equation. If you understand that new users and new money is going to come into Hex with PulseChain, then all you're doing right now is you're front running new users. For example, if you get into gaming cryptos before everyone gets into gaming cryptos, what are you doing? You're front running all the new money and all the new people that are going to come in, right? It's the same thing with anything. You get in Bitcoin in 2015, you're early. You came before all the people came after. Same thing with gaming cryptos. You got in before everyone else gets into gaming cryptos. You get into NFTs before everyone got into NFTs, right? It's the same thing. Who's early? Who's going to front run new users? And I believe we're going to have new users. We're going to have a lot of excitement. We're going to have a lot of money pouring into Hex, especially when people find out about it through PulseChain and PulseSwap sacrifice and all these other things. You know, I mean, it looks really good, man. Things look really bright here, and I hope you're ready. So, guys, if you want updates, I'll obviously follow me on Twitter at CrashesClay69. And I hope you found this video useful. My most highest conviction play, my most bullish bet out there, guys. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. Make sure you are subscribed. And if you want more people to know about Hex, make sure you share this video and follow me on Twitter at CrashesClay69 for updates. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I'm looking forward to it, guys. We've been waiting for this recovery, and I really do believe it's here, and that's why I went public and said it today. I think the bottom is in. You guys know me, right? I'm not an objective commentator. I'll be wrong, right? I'll admit when I'm wrong, but you know, I'm going to tell you when I think I'm going to be right. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to give you real opinions, you know, and that's my real opinion. The double bottom's in, the bottom is in, and it's time to take off. So get ready for the next month, 2 months, 3 months. I think it's going to be good. All right, guys, see you on the next one. Take care.